Childhood friends do come and go. True friends stick together.
I'm looking at all you people out there right now who's watching this tape. For my loyal subscribers, specifically. For a lot of my loyal subscribers out there who enjoy the content that is provided on this channel. I know there's a lot of you good movie folks out there. But this is my advice to you all. For anyone to not put this movie in their best coming of age list, if they ever created one, in my eyes, it's a sin. Because the thing is, this is a movie that truly gives everything of what the genre should be all about. Throughout all the years of film that we've been given, coming of age is a popular genre with a lot of folks. I myself am a fan of the coming of age genre too. It's not one of my personal top five, but it is one that I absolutely adore when it comes to films that really stuck to me personally. That's the beauty of coming of age, is that it's supposed to hit you personally while having a story, while having a main course plot, while developing real life shit that you can relate to and understand of what the goal is. Not many films are like that these days, at least from what I've seen. But when it comes to the 1980s, this was the decade that gave you some of the absolute best of the best coming of age films that you will ever witness. This is one of them. This here is one of them, folks. Not much of a cover, is it? But if you look closely, you'll see the four boys right there walking alongside that path along the ravine here with the sun coming up around 5 o'clock in the morning. Folks, this movie here, you had River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell, uh, Will Witten. I probably said his name wrong, but here's your cast of characters for the main four boys. This movie here, folks, this is one of the absolute best coming of age pictures that came out from the 1980s. This is one of the best coming of age films that came out in general. And this is one of the ones that I have literally in my Rolodex of films from this decade that hit the heart and makes you reflect on your own memories of childhood, friends you've had, friends that come and entered your life or left and stayed, and how it makes you look back as an adult and reflect on those memories that you once loved or had, or even one of these days looking back at old photos or just sitting there and just reflecting on those memories of the friends that you had. This movie brings those emotional feelings out. This movie was based off Stephen King's book, The Body, which had much more of a sadder ending and a darker tale. Then again, King is a horror writer. I'm going to digress right there. Before I discuss my personal feelings of the story, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you a big, honest appreciation for some of the songs that were used for this particular movie. I'll give you the examples right here. Every Day by Buddy Holly. Lollipop by the Chordettes. Fun song. Come Go With Me by the Dove Vikings and Whispering Bells. Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis. Mr. Lee by the Barbettes. Yakety Yak by the Coasters. And the main hit theme song for the movie and title, Stand By Me by Ben E. King. I got a lot of these songs on record too. Either it's on the LP or single. I got quite a few of them. Now, these songs fit the mood, an amazing appreciation for the time setting of the movie. For someone like me who knows music from the 1950s, at least in some of the history, it's a blessing to hear these songs be appreciated and used in such perfect timing, such in a fun, calming, sad, or some sort of mood that all the kids are feeling in this film. They all fit perfectly. It fit the theme, the suspense. All the songs were used perfectly, and also the time setting as well. The 1950s, great stuff. But however, folks, let's just get right to the main story and at least talk about my own personal thoughts about it. Now, the story of Ray Brower has been floating around town when four friends known as Gordy, Chris, Teddy, and Vern hear about it. They want to go off on an adventure to find the kid's body, claim a reward to become heroes, featured on television, look good, be in the newspaper, be heard on the radio, whatever. However, once Ace and his gang hears about it, things take a turn for the kids, which is the main plot. There's a goal here. There's a mission that you want to focus on. That is the journey. But if you want to hear the coming of age part, four friends go off on a journey, discover themselves as human beings, showing appreciation for their friendships, the pros and cons, learning the loyalty that they have or once had for one another. This movie's about self-discovery. Now, I'm going to tell you all right now, I didn't write much notes because a lot of this shit that I want to say is coming from the heart. At least, whether it's reviewing the movie itself, well, coming towards relating to the film, but it's a lot of personal stuff I want to tell you folks in general. At least while relating to the movie. Childhood is something that I always recommend people to hold on to. It is something that I really suggest anybody to hold on to. Sometimes we may have a childhood that's either good or bad. Sometimes we'll get along with the family. Sometimes we won't. It depends exactly how your upbringing is. But the thing is, folks, there is always some good that comes out of childhood. One of them is getting yourself a group of friends that you met either in preschool or young as a baby or during your elementary days or in junior high. Whatever the case may be, you end up meeting a group of friends that enter your life. They teach you the rights or wrongs. Sometimes these friends will be a bad influence on you, or sometimes they will be a positive influence on you. But overall, regardless what it is, when you get older and you go to like high school, whatever, and become an adult and do other things like college or work or marriage or whatever the case may be, naturally as time progresses, those friends seem to drift away and you end up creating new ones. And this is a lesson I've taught a lot of people. Friends do come and go, but close friends that you've known all your life stick together and become your fucking family. I should know on a personal standpoint. That is one thing about this movie. Gordy ends up getting himself a group of friends that he met as a young 12-year-old boy that he has, which is Teddy, Chris, and Vern. Now, Vern and Teddy were two of those kids that end up coming and going, unfortunately. But Chris was that one friend that guided Gordy throughout adulthood. But unfortunately, sad things happened to Chris. But regardless, they stayed true to each other, ended up in college, and managed to do a lot of successful things, whether finding different occupations, but all having themselves a friendship that they were able to cherish closely. But the thing is, folks, when you meet those group of friends, sometimes you get that one friend in a very, juvenile or very adolescent group who has himself a good head, has common sense, and knows how to guide you. It tells you your ins and wrongs. Because the thing is that, folks, when it comes to growing a friendship, I advise this at least a lot. You have to give tough love to your friends. Whether if you're swearing at them, calling them names, or cursing them out when you're trying to talk to them about something that they are fucking up or saying some wrongdoings about themselves, you have to be the one to really go to your friends, straighten them the fuck out. Maybe sometimes you have to get physical and slap them across the face to make them wake up and realize that they are truly a good person. They have a talent. They are going to do something well with their life. Well, the one friend is telling them the God's honest truth to make them realize, don't make the same mistakes I'm doing. Don't become what I am. Because if you become what I am, you're going to get fucking hurt. That's what Chris was to Gordy. He was that one friend. Because the thing is, folks, when you have that one friend who's got your back, who stays loyal to you, there for you when you're emotional, scared, happy, laugh, busting balls, whatever the case may be. When you have that group of friends, or that one friend in general that stays with you and stays loyal to you through thick and thin, it's meant to be. It's meant to be a relationship that you can't break. Whether it's with a female, with friends with a male, female, whatever the case may be. If it's meant to be, they become your fucking family. Whether it's actually turned into a legit relationship or a friendship that is just cannot be broken. You learn who your friends are as time progresses, who stays, who comes and goes. But that's what I've learned about this film. That's at least the biggest thing I learned is that you keep your friends close. You keep them close to your heart and never let them go. The ones that have come and gone, it was just something that happened in your life and just became another chapter. Because that's what life is, folks. It's like writing a book. You write as you are working on one chapter, you are filling out the pages, and once that chapter is complete, you move on to the next. That's exactly what life is, and that's what was going on in this movie. But the thing is, folks, sometimes when you come across a certain element where something happens in your life to where you're just going through the adolescent phase, or you're just being, you know, not necessarily using your common sense, having proper logic, or really thinking clearly. But once a certain thing happens to your life where you experience something like coming across, like these kids did, a dead body, understanding the story of what this kid did. See, the thing is that when you, before going into a particular task, you start making jokes, you start getting the idea, but once the reality hits of what you're going through, it makes you think differently about life. It makes you think differently about society. It makes you think differently about a bunch of different things. It makes you reflect about yourself, even. And that's what happened to these kids when they discovered the body of Ray Brower. They thought differently about themselves. They thought they were going to go in as heroes, but no, they came out as young men. They went in. They went in on this trip as boys. They literally walked out as men with different perspectives on life and really thinking exactly about everything. This movie had a really investing good cast of characters. It had some good actors. The heel, the baby faces, a lot of games when you are in childhood, when you have your group of friends, you start playing games, little pranks with each other, harmless stuff as kids. Start swearing, well, it wasn't happening to me, but sometimes at least in this time frame, they were smoking, trying to be hip. It was the thing and everything was the trend. Playing the record player or bringing the radio around or giving each other money to go to the store and buy different items and everything. And just really having each other's back, buying supplies, going on a trip, lying to the parents, playing certain games like Heads Up, 7 Up, or flipping the coin, filling your mouth up with wood and spit into the container, see how far it'll go. A lot of innocent stuff back in those days with youth. You had those group of friends that you played with, and these kids really showcase those memories, at least some innocent games and pranks that they had with each other. A lot of quotes reflecting on their favorite TV shows, asking reality questions that they never thought of even asking, but end up doing it. Having a funny story. The tale of Lardass about how he's able to get revenge on all the people that made fun of him for being fucking fat. Gordy came up with an amazing story. Entertained everybody except Teddy Duchamp, but he just didn't like the ending. But really, folks, this movie is amazing. This film had great cast. It had the villain. It had a goal. It had a story. It had a vision that makes you really look into the dialogue of what Chris is saying to Gordy about don't make the same mistakes I am. Become somebody that I want you to become. Staying close with your friends. Never letting go. A lot of true relatable shit that really just hits the heart and just enters your mind and just digests into your soul. The music, how it's able to fit with everything. This film is a goddamn gem. It is an absolute gem. You meet those group of friends. You got the one kid who's a pussy. You got the one kid who's the leader and has the brains. You have the one kid who's calm and collected, and obviously you got the class clown of the bunch. When you have a group of friends, obviously everybody has a personality that you just adapt to and you grow and you love. But really, folks, Stand By Me. It's an amazing movie. I just practically gave you all the little lecture about real life shit that adapts to the movie itself and makes you really reflect on a lot of things. So if you haven't seen Stand By Me, folks, you got to give this movie a watch. You are really, I think, for the folks who haven't watched it, you're really going to have yourselves a nice time watching this and really reflect a lot. But in terms of a rating, Stand By Me is a movie I gave a perfect 5 to. There's not a damn thing wrong I can say about this movie. Shows how what life was like in the 50s, what it was like being friends with folks you knew, learning about friendship, life in general. There was a goal. A lot of things happened in this movie that was just outstanding. So let me know down below, folks, your thoughts about Stand By Me. If you have seen this movie, I am interested to know. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my thoughts about this movie. And ciao for now.